All right, well, hello and welcome to the Derpcast. This is a bit of an older game that we're going to be playing today. I know this is kind of a weird way to start off a series, but this is one of my favorite games of all time. I believe it came out in 2004, so it's 9 years old right now. It is aged extremely well. It is called Test Drive Eve of Destruction. By far, probably the most satisfying Demolition Derby game I've ever played in my life. It's a game that I've grown up playing, and a game that I won't really ever forget. So we're just kind of going to jump right into stuff. I have actually beaten the game, but for the sake of this video, I've gone ahead and put in the cheat code to unlock everything. So as you can see here, you get to choose from all these different classes. You've got your muscle cars, your specials, your compact, and your mid-sizes. The specials are a little trippy. You've obviously got your school bus, your cop car, the hearse, which is a pain in the neck to drive, the postal truck, which has probably some of the strangest physics I've ever seen, and the taxi, which nobody really uses. Same thing with the ambulance. In your compact, it's pretty much just your weak little hatchback cars. These are really early on in the game that you start getting these. These here, that looks strange. You don't really ever use those. The mid-size cars, you do kind of use them, like the Cannon. That's a car that pretty much just beats the daylights out of anything else. As you can see, though, you've got all the little stats. You've got your speed, handling, and durability. Your compact cars are, like, for instance, your Moth have the worst stats you will ever see. Your Moth and your Top are two of the worst. If you go into your mid-size, your stats are a little bit better. You know, you still have your things like the Gorilla, which are kind of bleh. These really aren't meant for speed. These are more meant to just take people out. And then you've got your muscle cars, which are the fun ones. So you've got the Gladiator, which is the car that most people go with, the Mongoose, the Orbital. The Orbital is one of my favorites, but in this situation, I'm going to be using the Rocket. It is the fastest car in the game, and it is also one of the weakest cars in the game. But it handles really well, and it looks really good on video. Down here, you can pick your paint job. I always go with paint job 3 on this. And then you can pick your nickname down here. And what's funny is that this game, although it came out in 2004, had some of the best VO work I've seen in a racing game. And you can pick from all these different names, and they recorded this poor announcer having to say every single one of these names in different ways. So the one I always go with is, of course, Slayer. Very Halo. We're going to kick it up to 3 veteran. There's 5 different difficulties. There's Legend, Champ, Veteran, Pro, and Rookie. I'll probably do a challenge video of racing on Champion, or on Legend, my bad, because that is really, really fun, but it's also ridiculously difficult sometimes. Let's see, let's just pick a nice, simple track. Gilroy is a huge track, and this actually had a pretty decent selection of maps, to be perfectly honest with you. This was the only one that didn't show up on multiplayer, which is perfectly fine, because it's actually not one of the better tracks in here. But if you look at this, I mean, some of these are pretty open maps with where you can go and what you can do, especially when you get to a map like Home that has one of the funniest glitches I've ever seen in my entire life, of being able to get outside the map and not being able to get back inside the map, but you're still driving around outside the map and you can like sink through the floor and all that fun stuff. So we're actually going to play on, which one do I want to play? Woodley? Nah. There we go, Gilroy. Gilroy always looks good. And you can always, there's 1 event, 3, 5, or 7. 5 is usually the way to go. It's just your default amount. The reason why there's not going to be any music in this video is because it's all copyrighted. So all you're going to hear is the sound of the cars, the sound of the announcers. And other than that, you're not really going to hear much besides me talking, because the music is copyrighted by certain bands, and frankly don't want to have to deal with that whole hullabaloo on YouTube and the way that they operate things. So, this game, to get back into it, is essentially a game that is based off of Demolition Derby's Crashorama events, more specifically. There's a group of guys known as the Knights of Destruction who tour all around the country, especially down here in the South, and what they do is host these Demolition Derbies. And these are pretty much the majority of the events that they have at their races. Now, some of these don't exist because you would die. So, for instance, your suicide race does not exist, because I'll show you that here in a little bit. That's a horrible thing to have to go through. Detention, same thing. Figure 8 jump race, you'd probably end up dying. Gauntlet does exist. Jump races don't really exist because you'd be leaping cars and flipping and burning. So we're just going to start with the simplest one. There are no rules in this race. Finish in first place any way that you can. This is a no rules race, and because this is more demolition derby, more homegrown, it's on oval tracks. It's on oval dirt tracks mostly. There's a couple asphalt tracks. Some of those are pretty fun. I always race in first person. As you can see, difficulty 3 is pretty easy. I've got a little damage bar in the upper left-hand corner, and as you can see, because these are on easier difficulty, and because I am in a really, really fast car, I am very simply taking the lead, but I'm going to use this race to kind of explain to you some of the mechanics of the game. This game is really focused on you just annihilating your opponents. That's pretty much about it. You get points in most races, for instance the trailer race, which is a normal race but where you're towing a trailer. You get points for taking out people's trailers, you get points for taking out other cars. That's why in the bottom right hand corner there's a little skull and crossbones with a time 0 down there, because I haven't killed anybody. Hits 32%, that's the, I think that's the amount of hits that you've gotten, I don't really know. And then obviously your damage, and your damage is one of the most important things to keep in mind of in this game. Especially if you're racing a faster car like mine. Like here, I'll just run into this guy, let's just see. His damage bar went down. They always appear after everything else. So like, or underneath your damage bars where everybody else's damage bars will appear. And I'm just going to start running into people because I feel like I'm lapping. That is second place right there that I'm running into. Actually, no, this green car's second place right now. Part of the handling problem in this game is that because it is on dirt, and this is actually a fairly decent game, power slide for the win, because this is a fairly dirt-based game, you slide like you're on actual dirt. The physics system is fairly good in this, and it's really, really entertaining when you hit some of the jumps. So let me see if I can, I'll do a figure 8 jump race. Figure 8 races are exactly what they sound like. There's a figure 8 on the track, and there's an intersection in the middle, and people will run into each other and crash and flip, and it's all really, really fun to watch. Figure 8 jump race, it's a little bit different, and you're about to see why. This is where the jump part comes in. It's a normal figure 8, but the crossover in the middle of the track is a giant jump. And on all the maps it's different, like this is a wood one, some of them it's asphalt, some of them it's just dirt. That's pretty much it. But if you've got a really fast car, and I don't know if I can show this, but you can start nudging people in midair and send them flying off the road. This is one of the harder ones on the higher difficulties to actually place first in, because keeping your speed up is really, really difficult. If I do check my rearview mirror a lot, it's simply because that is something that gets ingrained in your head after playing this game for 9 years. It gets to the point of you kind of just wanting to make sure nobody's coming up behind you, and also you get to see some really epic crashes, and if I notice that one's about to happen, I will get to demonstrate another fun feature of this game, which is the replay mode. Yes, this was a game that came out in 2004, and it had a theater mode. That was a little close for comfort. The theater mode in this game is actually pretty spectacular. Some of the controls are a little derpy. It doesn't have slow-mo or anything like that. But you can, oh, I'm going to get hit. No, I'm not, okay. But you can essentially switch to any car, you can switch to any camera that you want. And I always race in this mode, but you can race in no bonnet or HUD. Oh, okay, that's not good, I just got hit. You can actually do this sort of thing, and this is more of a challenge in and of itself trying to drive like this, because you can't see much of what's going on in front of your car. There's also the starter third-person mode, which I never race in because I can't ever steer my car proper. I'm gonna get hit. Oh, no, I'm not. Then there's the extended third person, which also still not really a fan of. Really hard. I always prefer this mode. And it comes in really helpful for a feature that exists in multiplayer. I might hop into multiplayer. I don't really... Oh, we didn't get to that. I might hop into split screen multiplayer, although I don't really want to see both halves of the screen at the same time, just to show you some of the features on this map, because what's fun when you do this, there's a mode in multiplayer called Battle. And Battle is essentially a free-for-all deathmatch. And it actually just tickles me thinking about this. You shoot exploding chickens out of the front of your car. It's weird. You fire exploding chickens with L2, and you murder other people and their damage bars. That's where your car's durability really comes into play. In the racing, it doesn't matter as much as it does with Battle or your demolition derbies or detention or anything like that. That's things like that. So we just came in first in that event. Here's the standings. Hopefully I should go perfect on this. I'm at 200 points. There's a 500 point max because it's 5 events, 100 points per event. Which one do I want to do? Let's do Gauntlet. This exists in the real world, believe it or not, and it's it's brutal to watch this happen, because in the real world, when this race goes on, lots of cars flip, there's lots of smoke, there's lots of screeching, and antifreeze everywhere. But I am driving in a hearse for a very good reason, because it's got my coffin in the back. This is a game mode where every other car on the field tries to stop you. You have to try to complete 5 laps as the hearse, and all these other guys, all other 13 cars that are in the race, try to run into you and stop you, and the AI will usually do that and they'll park like that. The worst ones are the head-ons. I'm trying to avoid those as best as I can, but if somebody hits you head-on, you're pretty much going to lose about half of your health. Not because the head-on collision, but simply because everybody else will start piling onto you. And when they pile onto you, it's 13 cars. You're not going to be getting out of there very easily. Yeah, get out of my way. No. That's what makes this game fun. It's very, very, very unpredictable, and it's sometimes a huge, giant mess. There's races in here like the flagpole race, which I totally have to show you. The flagpole race is insane. And I'll explain the basis of it right now as I'm trying not to die. That's not good. See, made a collision there, now I have to drive backwards. And that guy just flipped over. I'm just going to keep driving over this way. Maybe run into that guy. Believe it or not, the back end of the hearse on this actually takes more damage than the front end usually does. Ow. Okay. I felt really depressed because I got back into this game the other day and I was just trying to drive around, and I wanted to do this race because this is always one of my favorite things. And I played it on level 2 difficulty just because I was trying to hook up the capture card and I was trying to hook up everything else and just wanted to see what type of quality of video I was going to get out of this. And as I'm sitting there doing that, I got taken out on my 3rd lap, and I about wanted to cry because this is a game that, because I played it for 9 years, I can play it on the highest difficulty without really too many problems. I do rage on some of the maps because I'm horrible at those maps. It's actually just like an FPS. You really have to memorize how to handle different maps. Like this one is easy because it's wide, sweeping turns. It's a really big old map, and you can really get some speed going. There's other maps that are maybe about 2 cars wide, and it's horrible. So, flagpole race. In this difficult event, you go around each flagpole once per lap, and you will see what that means. Flagpoles are usually tires filled with concrete that have metal rods sticking out of the top of them. In the real world, especially over at some of the speedways I've been to and actually seen these Crashorama events, they have... Oh, look, there's a flagpole. They will actually use motorhomes and RVs, and it's ridiculous because as opposed to 14 cars like we have right now, you have... Oh, okay, missed the turn. So you have to go all the way around the flagpole. But like I was saying, you have probably about 60 cars sometimes just lined up, not really caring, just wanting to drive around and smack into each other, and it looks like the Holocaust for cars, essentially. If you're a petrol head, you kind of cry a little bit when you see some of the cars. Ow. Alright, so, as this is demonstrating, your objective is, when you get to the flagpole, you have to slow down and essentially do a donut around it. And it leads for some epic pile-ups. If you're in the front of the pack, your objective is pretty much get out of here as quickly as possible, because everybody else in this race will follow you, and they will murder you. And it gets really bad. It gets to the point with some of the flagpoles where you don't even know which direction you're supposed to be going anymore. Or if you've gone around the flagpole or anything like that. Yeah, I'm good. Okay. Like, if you look behind me, those poor guys that were following me now have to deal with those 2 guys at the flagpole and give me a nice hefty lead. Something that comes up in these demolition derbies a lot and is the concept of sandbagging, which is essentially you just... Please don't hit me. You just hanging out and slowing down and going in the back of the pack and then steamrolling through people as they either A, try to lap you, or B, as you just build up speed. So for instance, like this guy is technically sandbagging, even though he's just losing because he's a horrible AI player. What happens is that guy, as I'm going around the flagpole, one of the guys behind me could just barrel into me. He could just floor it and run into me and take me out of the race and take his chances and see how he'd fare. Oh, okay, please stop. he could just barrel into me and, you know, say, you know, I'm already going to lose this race. Might as well. Please, children, play nice with each other, please. I have to do this backwards. I'm going to die. I can't do this backwards. There we go. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like what just happened to me. Some guy spun me around because no. I'm not gonna lose. There we go. Yeah, buddy. You can get hit and just get spun around and then try to compensate. And it didn't really work out well for that guy because he ended up coming in behind me. But you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. What else is there to show you on this map? I really want to go through all of these events. Some of them are maniacal. For instance, detention. Where is it? There you go, detention. The school bus must destroy all the other cars as quickly as possible. The school bus is pretty much invincible, and you just pile drive your way through a field of 14 to 20 cars. And it's insane. That's pretty much the majority of what you do in that race. But what's fun is that in the multiplayer in this, I'll just pause it for a second. In the multiplayer, it had one of the coolest systems for doing these races. For instance, when I did the gauntlet just now, I was the hearse. But you don't really ever have two people that are the hearse in one of the races in real life. So, the other human player plays as one of the guys trying to stop the hearse, and he usually is the guy that you really have to watch out for because he knows what he's doing. Then they swap positions, and the guy who was originally trying to take you out is now driving the hearse, and you, who were driving the hearse, now has to take out the other person. It gets really fun. You know what? Let's play with this, the school bus race. This is Everybody's a School Bus, and it's a no-rules race. I think it's a 3-lap race? I don't even remember anymore. I think it's 3. Now, these buses were a little bit buggy. As you can see right now, I got off to a really slow start because for some reason it doesn't like to put your bus in gear. No, it's a 4-lap race. But these are all the buses. You have normal school buses, then you've got the red, white, and blue buses, and you've got this guy up here who's in first, who is what I like to call, it's based off of a Pokemon card, the Moo Moo Mr. Cow bus, if this is where I think he is. Yep, he looks like a cow. Who am I? I'm red, white, and blue. I was kind of actually hoping to get the rainbow bus this time. It looks pretty derpy. It looks like Bob Ross was having a little bit of fun with the bus. That's the best way to describe it. These buses are a pain in the neck. I try to avoid running into these guys as much as possible. Oh, he has a little mustache. Try to avoid running into them as much as possible because they will slow you down. Now, something that you can do, and I might do this on the last lap, you can flip buses over just by clipping them properly. Can't really get on that guy because he's already racing. Come on. But you can flip buses over. Which is a very interesting little bit of imagery. I have to admit, the physics engine in this game is pretty impressive. I don't know what it's running. I don't remember what it's running. I can't really find any details online because I really wanted to actually mod this game and make my own maps at some point. But this game has a really fun physics engine. The buses, obviously flipping buses, collisions, flying through the air. But it really shines through when you play in battle mode. And I'm going to go ahead and hop in that. I'll actually keep player 2 up on screen. Exit. So I came in first, 500 points. Perfected that round. Just saying, you know. Totally MLG. Not like I haven't, played this for 9 years. Multi. That's how easy it is to jump into multiplayer. So I'm going to press X on that controller. And I'm going to go all the way over here and grab my other controller. And just for the sake of things, I'm going to have a little bit of fun with this. I think I'm going to make player 2 this guy. This guy right here. And I'll keep him as Bucktooth. Bucktooth is ready to go. He doesn't have to do anything else the entire game. Although I might put him in extended third-person mode when we hop in there. I'm going to go Muscle, Rocket, and just because I'm OCD about having this name, I'm going to be Slayer. You can't pick your paint job, which is kind of sad, but, Now, what is one of my favorite maps to play on? I really kind of want to show off Home. I'll just do one event, and I'll do Battle on some of these maps. That's fine with me. It doesn't really matter what difficulty. What would be a fun map to show everybody? I'll do Woodley. Whoops, what just happened? There we go. Woodley. Woodley is a bit bonkers in battle. And it's simply because in battle mode, you have free roam of the entire map on any of the maps. You have roads for the shortcuts, the little back roads that go on there. You don't really have any jumps, but it doesn't really matter because you kind of make your own jumps, as I'm about to show you. There we go, battle. And I need to go over here and get my other controller real quick because I'm an idiot. So, that's me. That's the postal truck. This postal truck is about to get annihilated. There we go. Actually, wait. Which one do I want to go to? Yeah, no. We'll just keep it right there. Why am I rolling forward? I'm confused. Okay. So, anyways, I'm just gonna drive around real quick and show you guys what you can do as the postal truck just sits there. JK, totally just gonna J-turn on this hill and destroy the postal truck. This is what happens. Alright, the chicken, and there goes the car. And I slam into a fence because I'm not paying attention. Now, the chickens, if you'll notice, have a reload time on them. And that is what makes this really, really fun and really, really stressful at the same time. And he flips over. I think it should automatically respawn this guy. I don't know. I hope it does. If not, can I just keep shooting him? Oh, I can keep shooting him. Cool, he's right this way. I'm just going to drive around because you know what? I feel like it. So, you can do stuff like this. And magically fly through the air. Why? Just because. J-turn on the hill and fly through the air and do a 180 and do a fence and an invisible wall. Okay. So that's pretty much just the way this goes. Now, as you can see, this is not any place where you would race. What is this? This is the Knockout Arena. I think that's what it's still called. And it's also the Demolition Derby Arena. And like I said, you have free roam of the map. And any map on here that has an arena built into it. Now, some of them it just like spawns an arena. Oh, please tell me I didn't just get myself stuck. I got myself stuck. Okay. Player 2 to the rescue. Have to respawn as player 2 and run into me. That was really stupid of me. There we go. I don't quite get this controller. This player 2 controller is a bit sticky. Oh, that's why. That's why it was leaning on one of the buttons a little much. Brake. Let's put on reverse. What is it up with this car? There we go. I really need to get this controller looked at now. Did I fix it? Yay! I fixed it. Okay. Player 2, you get to stay over here. And I'll just keep the controller with me. But as you can see, that's pretty much the way that this goes. Now, you have free roam, so this is the oval track, this is the little figure 8 track, there's the crossover of death on the figure 8 track that nobody likes. And that's that. Now this game this is one of my favorite game modes in the entire thing. This is probably my favorite game mode ever. Simply because you can do really stupid things like this. And vault yourself over a fence, slide on your roof. Usually it'll try to auto-flip your car over. There we go. And all that fun stuff. That wasn't really that good though. Like I want a nice epic flip. So for starters, you know what? Let's just go like this. I want to fly outside the map. Whee! That's too low. I think it's too low. Nope, I went outside the map, and that's why I respawned over here. There's the jump I just hit, and here's where I respawned. Not a perfect game. Definitely has its problems sometimes. This is a map. I haven't figured out how to recreate it anymore. Neither has my dad, but you can actually get outside the map and just play around with some of the sprites that are out there. Of the little guys on dirt bikes going over the hills. You know what? Let's do this jump. Yeah! Flipping through the air. Land it, land it, land it! Stuck the landing into a fence. So that's battle for you. Pretty much, you just drive around dueling with chickens. Probably going to do a versus with my dad on this game mode because he and I have some pretty epic battles. Namely because you can do moves like that and do the epic like power slide shots that I just completely missed. I'm making myself look. How did I just miss that? You can do some crazy trick shots on here, do mid-air duels, matrix battles, stuff like that. And you can really get a lot of replayability out of this. This is one of the most replayable games I think I've ever owned. Simply because you can do whatever you want. So like, trick shot, something like that. There we go. And I hope it doesn't happen. Yeah, there we go. I hope it really doesn't happen in this playthrough. But one of the things that happens sometimes is that the chickens don't exactly agree with the physics engine or how they're coded to fire. and they kind of like to explode inside your car. But this game, for some magical and unknown reason, that was a mess. Oh wow, that actually did damage. For some magical and unknown reason, does not want you to kill yourself. So you can't kill yourself with the chickens when they explode inside your car. It will just take your health down until you literally cannot see the health bar, and if you run into somebody or bump them, you will die. And that makes this a game where you want to cry sometimes. For instance, it's a 5-kill limit on this, and my dad and I were tied, 4 for 4. He was having a really good game. I was having a really good game. We were head-to-head, really, really tense. I think it was Cop Car versus the Rocket, and all of a sudden I got kamikaze chickens, and he had full health. And the Cop Car has a durability of like 7, and this is a durability of 4, which means I essentially got murdered. And all he did was we did a power slide past each other. The two of us missed, but we grazed paint just a little bit, and I died, and it gave him the 5th kill, and I lost. And that made me want to die. So that is pretty much Test Drive Eve of Destruction for you in a nutshell. I'm definitely going to be coming back to this game and playing it more and more and more if I possibly can. This is a game that I will be playing even if I'm not recording it, and stuff like that. So please, oh no, player 2. Please give me a heads up in the comments section if you want this to keep going, if you want to see maybe even a complete playthrough of this game. The racing is absolutely hysterical. Oh, actually, you know what? While I'm doing this, there is one thing I kind of forgot about, and that is one of the unlockables in here. But anyways, as I'm saying, give us a little shout out in the comments. Let us know what you want to see. Probably the next video I'm going to be doing is a versus with my dad, either in this game, Tribes Aerial Assault, one of the Tony Hawk games for PS2. What else do we have? Red Faction 1, which is fun and very trippy. Red Faction 2, which is probably, well, that was my first FPS ever. And it's absolutely hysterical. Wait, no, why am I doing this? I need to go all the way back. I want to show you guys an unlockable real quick. Or War of the Monsters. I know, no, don't load. Opciones. There we go. Extras. These are the things that you unlock. Unlockables. I don't really care. Whoops, wrong thing. I don't want to do it. I need to do feats. I forget where this is. Yes. Okay. Deadly. These are all things that you can get by doing special little challenges. These were the achievements of the PlayStation 2. And you have stuff like Deadly Emission. And all these make the game harder. None of these really make the game easier. Including one I'm going to show you. There's the leader's health slowly drains away, which is really, really annoying. You have Bakok, which is one of the most hysterical things to see. It is partly cloudy with a 100% chance of chickens. These developers love their chickens. This was developed by Atari and Monster Games, I believe. And it will literally rain exploding chickens. And you can go from first to last or first to dead very quickly. This is like Battle, essentially, but you're armed with chickens on the L2. Only problem is that the chickens fire up at an angle, so it doesn't ever fire straight like it does in Battle, as far as I've seen. Hardcore mode makes me want to cry. That is really, really hard. Fast forward, also really, 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 really hard. That essentially means everybody's going really fast, and if you don't time a turn right, you're going to end up in the fence, and you're going to lose. Old-time racing, it's much faster as well, and it's also in sepia tone, I believe it is, and it's got the little scratches and stuff. It looks really fun. And then AI Vengeance. This is one of my favorites to play on, because if you start running into the AI, they will just take you out. When I talked about sandbagging, that's what the AI likes to do in this mode. But this is what I'm going to show you. The first one that you get for successfully completing all of the Dare Mode challenges, which is a pain sometimes. It's Turbo Boost! And it's also mapped to L2, so really don't ever have this in the chickens mapped at the same time, because that's just not good. So, we're going to select to turn that on, and we're going to go back, and you're going to see exactly how much fun you can have. Now, I'm not going to play as the Rocket. Well, I might play as the Rocket. I might do 2 races. Race, single, but I'm going to start things off, and I'm just going to play as this. And I'm going to play as the Bob Ross boss. As you can see, it has a handling of 1, a speed of 3, and a durability of 10. All those are going to become 10 with what I'm going to do. I don't want to do Welch because Welch is ridiculous. I kind of want to go back to Gilroy because that's such a fun little map. You know, let's just do it in Kenyon. Kenyon might not work. I'm going to be racing normal-sized cars in a school bus, and I'm still going to win. And you're going to see why I'm still going to win. And hopefully you enjoy this, because this is the one part that always tickles me the most in this game. What do we want to do? You know what? Let's just do a... Oh yeah, there's soccer, car soccer. That, that gets really strange and really confusing with the controls. Let's do a no rules race. Let's just keep it simple, stupid, and, let's just follow up with this. This is going to be pretty fun. So as you can see, giant epic school bus, and say hello to my little friend named Turbo Boost mapped by L2 that is making me go faster than any other car in here. I'm hitting, as you can see it from my speedometer in the bottom right hand corner, I'm hitting 90, I'm gonna hit 90 in this bus. I think I can hit 100. No. This is, like I said, like this makes it easier to pass people, but it is the hardest thing in the world to steer. Let's see, alright, so no, I don't know where I'm going. And you can really use the turbo boost to your advantage instead. Fly! Yep, I'm gonna flip. No, I'm not. Okay, good save. So that's the turbo boost. You can go ridiculously fast. And it gets nuts. You know what, I'm just gonna power slide. No! Stop, brakes, power slide, or turbo, whatever button I'm pressing. I know, R2 is power slide, L2 is turbo. Really care. This is a great little game as well. Like, I'm not having necessarily the best week right now. This is a great stress reliever, especially when you can sit there and just start annihilating people like what I'm about to do. These poor guys. Like, hey, come on, don't stop. I hate that when you cross the finish line, so you're done. Namely because you just get to destroy people. I just realized there's something in this game I haven't really talked about that much, and that's the announcer. The announcer in this, a lot of people gave this game flack because the announcer is a bit repetitive sometimes, and he is. But it makes it all better by the fact that what he says is hysterically funny. For instance, if you're winning, I don't really know if it's come up in this Let's Play, if you're winning a race or you're passing people, he will sometimes say, and I'll just use my guy's name of Slayer, Slayer's making more passes than a politician in a strip club. Totally politically correct, totally wrong to say, but totally something that is said at these events. So, for Enders, I'll do my rocket again. I'll do my old buddy, and what do I want to play? You know what? I'm gonna end it the way I started. I'm gonna do it on Gilroy, and I'm gonna do a no rules race. But I'm going to do it with the turbo boost. And maybe I'll see if I can keep the turbo on the entire time. I don't know. That would be a fun little challenge to have. The loading in this game is actually not as bad. Sometimes I just have this running through my capture card and running through some other stuff, so it's a little bit slower. Sometimes my PS2 is also ancient. This is my original PlayStation 2 that I got when I was like, 7 or whatever. I forget when the original PS2 came out. I think it was like late 90s. What do I want to do? Where's my no rules race? Alright, here we go. So yeah, I'm going to make it a rule. I have to turbo boost the entire race. And we'll see what happens. How I come in the standings. So I'm just going to, press and hold. See you guys. Bye. Have fun. Have fun. I'm going to... Okay. This is not going well. Okay. How does this work? Okay. You know what? Handbrake turn. And I don't really care. No. This is not going to go well. I've tried to keep the turbo down, and I've already lost control. I'm holding down L2, which kind of keeps the turbo going, but I'm having to gauge my throttle a little bit more carefully. Turn! No, that's a fence. Like, when I talk about replay value in a game, this is what I'm talking about. This is like, just, here, have fun. Here's a sandbox that you can mess with. Not really a sandbox, I guess. But here's this map, here's this racetrack, here's all these things that you can fiddle with in this game and have fun with. And, you know, like I said at the beginning, I cut out the soundtrack on this game. That's really just one more thing that makes this game worth playing or worth buying. And it's really dirt cheap. It's like a $7 game. But it's got one of the best soundtracks for a racing game I've heard in a while. Really, Dirt Showdown is the only game I've heard that's been semi-comparable to this game. This has got stuff from, I hope I can mention this, it's got songs from Hoobastank, Rob Zombie, Thrice, all these really, really, really good rock artists, and it fits it perfectly. And it actually is what's gotten me into rock a little bit more and more, and some of the heavier stuff, like, i.e., Rob Zombie and Thrice, or Thrice's earlier stuff. Right now they're kind of chill. That's it. Okay, so I guess everybody, thank you very much for tuning in for Test Drive Eve of Destruction. This has been one of my favorite games. It still is one of my favorite games. I really hope that you guys can go out and pick it up. It is a little hard to find in stores, so if you can't find it in stores, I would highly, highly recommend that you try to find it on Amazon. I know they definitely sell copies of it there. Find it on eBay. Do whatever it takes. And this game is really, really something that's worth it. Excuse me. It's just a lot of fun. So thank you guys very much. Put in the comments if you want to see something next, which games you want to see. I'm going to try to stick with PS2 right now. I do have my 360. I do actually play modern games. I'm a huge Halo fan, stuff like that. But I really, really, really need to get an HD capture card before I can start playing those, because it's a bit like Seizureville on my TV when I play it in standard def. So that's it. Thank you guys very, very much, and see you later.